Hello! I'm Mac, at least for a day, and everything's going to be okay. In this No Man's Sky speculation video, I will be reading the comments from the No Man's Sky Beyond announcement video that I did. But first I would like to start by reading the message from Sean Murray on the No Man's Sky website, which I didn't know about when I did that video yesterday. Some of it was information that we got from the tweets, so I talked about that already, but some new information on the website says No Man's Sky Online includes a radical new social and multiplayer experience which empowers players everywhere in the universe to meet and play together. Whilst this brings people together like never before and has many recognizable online elements, we don't consider No Man's Sky to be an MMO. It won't require a subscription, won't contain microtransactions, and will be free for all players. A little bit after that he says, "We will talk more about each component when we know we can be precise, and look forward to sharing more in the coming weeks." And further down, he mentions, "We'll continue to support No Man's Sky in this way for the foreseeable future." So he mentions that there won't be a subscription for No Man's Sky Online, and that it will be free for all existing players. So he's reiterating that updates will be free. And he says that he's going to tell more about what other new features are going to be in the Beyond update in later weeks. And again, he reiterates that they will continue to support No Man's Sky and continue to update the game. So he always reiterates that, even though people continue to say that those aren't going to be the case, that the game's not, that updates are not going to be free, or that they're going to stop updating the game. Every time Sean Murray keeps saying that it is going to be free and they will keep updating it. And even in the last video I did, there were comments from certain people saying that this is going to be the last update, the Beyond is the last update. And of course Sean Murray keeps saying that that's not the case, but that's why he keeps saying it, because for some reason people keep thinking that they're going to stop updating the game. But anyway, we'll talk more about what I read there when people comment about it. So the first comment is Marvels of Guppy. They say, "I think that it is a new Atlas storyline based beyond the simulation." And in an edit he says, "I just realized that it could be the world of glass that the Abyss storyline talked about." So that's a cool idea that, well, like I said in the previous video, the trailer looks like it's in some kind of new Atlas related space station or a monolithic construct with a new giant portal. And he says that it's a storyline based beyond the simulation. So that's what the word beyond could mean. It could mean going beyond the simulation. I don't know if they'll actually do that, and I don't know what it could be, but he also said that it could be the world of glass. And I don't know if he's saying that the portal leads to the world of glass, or that the world beyond the simulation is the world of glass. Both of those are possibilities. Some people have hypothesized that the real world is the world of glass. And I guess the rationale for that is, if this is a computer simulation, then we're behind a glass screen, and so the real world is beyond that screen of glass, and so the real world is the world of glass. I don't subscribe to that notion. I think the world of glass is like maybe a crystal memory storage. We have that in the real world. People have started to record digital information on glass discs. I think that's what the World of Glass might be. It might be a backup storage for the Atlas that can store information on glass, on crystal memory storage. But I'm not sure. But I don't think the World of Glass is the world beyond the simulation. But if he just means that the portal leads to World of Glass, that would be really cool. I'm starting to be convinced that the portal in the trailer is something else, but we'll get to that when people comment on it. Black Broly says, it's obvious that No Man's Sky Online is going to be a separate mode where everybody is connected like EVE Online and Elite Dangerous. Yes, I really think that that's what they're going to do, and that's what they're going to have to do. We have multiplayer on our regular saves, but in order for them to have full and complete multiplayer, like with lots and lots of people, I think it's going to have to be a separate mode. So we've got normal mode, survival mode, permadeath, and creative mode. I think they're going to have to make a fifth mode called No Man's Sky Online. So we'll have to start a new game, and some other people commented about that, so we'll talk more about it in a little bit. But I definitely agree that No Man's Sky Online is probably going to have to be a separate game mode. IMSLT says, my expectations about online will be about community missions like weekly events, but more free. Meaning that there'll be a list of missions to choose from and you can invite your friends. And maybe they'll put ship customization and of course other things in too. So his idea that they'll use to enhance multiplayer is something like the community events. I really liked the last community event because it gave us a choice. It gave us 3 different types of missions that we could do. Exploration, collection / trading, and destruction, which is like fighting something. I agree that it'd be really cool if they gave us a choice again and that the community events would be more multiplayer focused, and so we could invite people or join people's game to complete missions for a community mission. I mean, that's what I always thought community events were going to be, that it was going to be a multiplayer focused event, but it didn't end up being. All of the community events were things that we could do solo. And so if they do more community events, I hope that it will be more multiplayer focused and it will be things that will encourage us to play with others. And that would seem like more of a community event, not just going around doing things on planets by ourselves to collect data. And of course he mentioned ship customization, which people are never going to stop wanting until they finally add it. So hopefully we'll get ship customization in this update. Serling Zone says, I'm okay with new storyline, but my main wish is new planet features and loads more fauna and flora types. So yeah, he agreed. My biggest thing is storyline, so he kind of agrees that more storyline would be okay, but of course he wants more variation, and that seems to be one of the main things that people want, is more variation. I should mention that on the Atlas CSD forums, there was a lot of negative reaction to No Man's Sky Online. There's a lot of people on there that really don't play multiplayer at all, and they didn't like that it looks like multiplayer is going to be a focus of this Beyond update as well. That's why it's good that there's 2 other main focuses besides just multiplayer. I don't mind them concentrating on multiplayer, but I don't want that to be the only focus, so I'm glad that there's 2 other main features, which we don't know what they are yet. But Serling Zone definitely wants variation, and I think that's another main thing that most of the community want. Mac792 says, For me, the NMS Online is likely a rebrand for the current PlayStation Plus version of multiplayer. Maybe they intend to add features to both online and offline multiplayer. I think what he meant was the synchronous and non-synchronous multiplayer. You can't really have offline multiplayer unless we had couch co-op. But I think that's what he meant. We have the orb multiplayer, which is non-synchronized, meaning you can see another person's position, but the things in the world are not exactly the same for you. Like the enemies won't be in the same places, and terrain edits won't show on both of your screens. So I guess he's hoping that they're going to enhance both the synchronous and the non-synchronous multiplayer. And then he says, with far greater improvements made to the PlayStation Plus version, so they are just trying to clarify the distinction between the two a bit clearer. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure No Man's Sky Online is going to be a really new thing. And we'll talk more about the PlayStation Plus issue in a little bit, because other people comment on that. Fabian Escobar says, Mac, I think it's a time travel portal for NMS Beyond update, just my theory. So, people have said this before. This is something people thought for the monolithic portals that we got in Atlas Rises. People were thinking that they might be time travel portals, and that didn't end up being the case. They were just portals to other planets. Now, the portal, I'm going to go ahead and talk about the portal in the trailer. I'm really starting to think, because I said at first that it could be a portal to the world of glass, but that's just wishful thinking on my part. What I think is most likely is that it is an intergalactic portal. That is a portal that will allow us to travel between galaxies, and I really hope that is the case, because an important thing that it said on the website was that multiplayer experience which empowers players everywhere in the universe to meet and play together. So if they're saying that everyone in the universe is going to be able to meet, I definitely think that they are going to be adding a way to travel between galaxies. And I think that's what that giant portal is. That giant portal is probably a new object in space. We fly our ship in there, and then there will be some new interface that lets us put in the address of a galaxy. So similar to the monolithic portals that you have to have the address to a planet, you put in the address to a planet, I think they'll make it so that when another player goes to another galaxy, they can go and they can get the address to that galaxy somewhere, like probably at these giant portal stations. And then they can share that galaxy address with others, and then anyone will be able to go to that galaxy if they have the galaxy address. So that will open up the whole No Man's Sky universe, all of the galaxies, for anyone to visit them, as long as someone else has visited that galaxy, gotten the galaxy address, and then we'll be able to visit other galaxies. That would be really cool. I hope that is the case, that we're going to be able to travel freely between galaxies as long as we have the galaxy address. And that, of course, will allow people who have gone beyond Euclid Galaxy to go back to Euclid Galaxy and interact with people there again. I really hope that's the case, because I have several friends that have gone past Euclid, and there's no way for them to get back without going through all 255 galaxies in order to get back to Euclid. So hopefully that's what that portal is a way to travel between galaxies. That's what I'm starting to think that it is now. Pomeranian Mapping says, I hope there will be real multiplayer for PS4 without having PlayStation Plus. So this is kind of a big issue, and I don't like that Sean Murray and Hello Games said that No Man's Sky Online will be free of subscriptions, because I don't think that's going to be true as far as PlayStation Plus and Xbox Live goes. I think you'll still have to pay for Xbox Live and PlayStation Plus in order to play multiplayer in No Man's Sky. So the fact that they said that it's free of subscriptions, I don't think that's entirely true. And I don't think they're going to be able to remove that requirement. It will be true for people on PC, because on PC it doesn't require any extra payment. But on PlayStation and Xbox, it currently does require extra payment. You're just not paying Hello Games. We're not paying Hello Games subscription, but we do have to pay Sony or Microsoft extra to play multiplayer on their consoles. So, unfortunately, I disagree, or I don't think what Pomeranian Mapping says. I don't think we're going to be relieved of paying for PlayStation Plus. We're still going to have to do that in order to play the multiplayer. There's just not going to be any extra subscription to pay Hello Games. So, sorry if people don't like that, but realistically speaking, I definitely think we'll still have to pay for PlayStation Plus. The ARJ guy says, it almost seemed like No Man's Sky Online would be a different game or something. I don't know, really. And he mentions that the ship in the trailer looks more detailed. Yeah, well, it's not going to be a separate game, but I do think it'll be a separate game mode, like I said earlier. So, No Man's Sky Online I think will be a new game mode, and will probably be confined to a single galaxy, maybe not, but it will be like a separate server so that we can have more synchronous multiplayer with more players, and things like that. And he said the ship in the trailer looks more detailed. I didn't notice that. I'll go back and look at it again, but people have said that before when we've gotten screenshots from Waking Titan or other teasers for other updates. Like, people will see a planet and be like, oh, that planet is so much cooler than the planets we have now. But really it was just a normal mushroom planet, and it really wasn't any different than any other normal planets. When we get these little teasers, people tend to look at it and read a bit too much into it and think, oh, that's way better than what we have now, but really it's... But I'll look at it maybe, and they have added ship detail in different updates, so maybe this time they're also going to add more ship detail, but I didn't really notice anything blatantly different in the trailer, but maybe he's right. Norman Tucker says that hangar could be a customization station for ships. Highly unlikely, but wishful thinking. So yeah, I think a lot of people are applying what they want most to the thing that was in the teaser trailer. Like me, I applied what I want most, storyline, to it, and I said, oh, that's a new Atlas station that's going to be part of a new storyline. And now I'm changing my tune and I'm saying I think it's just a portal to different galaxies. So I'm guilty of the same thing, saying that I think it's going to be storyline because storyline is what I want most. And this guy probably wants ship customization most, so he's applying the trailer to that and saying that the Atlas station looking thing is a ship customization thing, which I don't think so at all. There didn't look like there was anything there that could be related to ship customization. I do think and hope that they add ship customization, but that will probably be at normal space stations or some other new type of hangar. I don't think it will be in the thing in the trailer, because that definitely looks like an ancient monolithic type of construct, not something that you would do ship customization. And other people are saying that it is a player hub, and they're basically just combining No Man's Sky Online with the trailer and saying, oh, that's a player hub place. But it didn't look like that either. It didn't look like something specifically for players meeting there. It looked like, ancient advanced alien technology kind of place. So It may or may not be related to storyline, but I do think it's just a portal, maybe for traveling between galaxies. Okay. Then Alex Sheasel says, he lists what he thinks the three features for the update are. Number 1 is online, No Man's Sky Online, which we already know. Then 2 he thinks is space, and then 3 is NPC. So he thinks the second one is going to be concentrating on improving space, which a lot of people want. So maybe they'll do that. Then 3, he says NPC. So I guess he thinks that the NPC variety thing that was in the survey, that's going to be one of the 3 features. That seems like a really small thing. I think NPC variety would just be a small tweak that they would do. It would probably be a part of the Beyond update, but it's not going to be one of the 3 main features. I think it would have to be something big to be one of the 3 features. So No Man's Sky Online is a pretty big thing. And then 2 could be improvements to space. And then 3 would probably be something else big, like VR support, or I'm not sure what else, but I don't think improvement to NPCs, unless it's going to be a new race. If they add a new race, that could be one of the 3 main features, but we'll have to wait and see. Sean Murray's going to announce the other 2 things in coming weeks, so we'll see. My friend Lord Markov says, I like your cyclical hype theory. Thanks, Markov. That theory that I rambled on about in the last video, that was mainly my reasoning that I was going to do before we got this announcement, and it was my reasoning for why the next coming update is going to be in the summer. So that was pretty much my way of theorizing when the next update's going to be, and it was kind of ruined by this announcement, because this announcement told us that it's going to be in the summer anyway. So I was trying to explain why we're going to get a big update in the summer and not sometime sooner than that, but Sean Murray's announcement already ruined it, and we know for sure now that the update's going to be in the summer. So, but I mean, I still wanted to get my theory out there, and I'm glad some people liked it, although it was kind of pointless at that point. Lord Markov, and I'm paraphrasing him, he lists different features he thinks we'll get. He says NMS Online will have guilds and base advertisements. He says space update is a must. No Man's Sky Online will have large space battles. And then he thinks that the villain story is in this update, that will be pursued by its agents, and it will conclude with a world of glass full of corrupted sentinels, and perhaps we'll have to defeat the enemy or remove its memory of ourselves. And then he said PSVR will probably wait until PlayStation 5. So I like his list that will have No Man's Sky Online and it will include guilds. And by base advertisements, I guess he means it will just be easier to get people to come to your base. And then of course a space update, and I like the idea of No Man's Sky Online having bigger space battles, because that would be something to do in multiplayer, to have big space battles together. So I definitely hope that's going to happen. And then of course storyline. So that would be my list. No Man's Sky Online for 1, 2 space update, and then 3 a new major storyline. That's what I would want. And I agree that VR may not come until the PlayStation 5 era, but we'll have to wait and see. Next is Ivano Forgione. He says, hoping for VR, NPC cities, bump to exocraft races, player factions and space overhaul, actual stars and gas giants. Hope they don't completely kill Waking Titan off. So this is a pretty good list. It's a lot of things that other people have said, except Exocraft races, which no one has mentioned yet. But yeah, I hope they make improvements to Exocraft races. I definitely think they will, because if they're making more of a complete multiplayer experience, we definitely should have some improvements to racing, because there was a lot of bugs involving racing, and I don't even know if they've completely got... I think, yeah, they fixed racing, because I was able to do other people's races finally, but it was broken for a long time after Next, and nobody's races worked. But I think they finally got them up and running. But I think they will need to improve them more for No Man's Sky Online if we'll be able to play with a lot larger number of people. And of course he mentions actual stars and gas giants, which we've talked about before already. And he mentions Waking Titan, and I do think it would be cool if they did Waking Titan after all, but not until really close to the update. So the first Waking Titan started in June, and the update was in August. I think that's a good way to do it again. We talked about this in the Waking Titan video, but I think they could still do it, and I'm glad they haven't started Waking Titan yet. But if they do Waking Titan, it would be cool if it was really close to the update, like a month or 2 months before the update, if they end up doing it at all. Plo617 says, and I'm paraphrasing, No Man's Sky Online is separate mode in one galaxy, can never pause. And I mentioned that earlier. I was kind of thinking about what he had said. Online, space, VR, improvements to variation without being a key feature. So the three main features to this update he thinks are online, space, and VR. And many people have said something similar to that. And then he thinks improvements to variation could also just be part of it without being one of the three main things. And then Justin Smith says, and he, instead of really saying the features, he is giving his prediction on when we will get the different announcements. He says March we got the first announcement, which we already have. And then in April, we'll get the announcement for Feature 2. And then May, we'll get the announcement for Feature 3. And then he thinks in June, we'll get the trailer, and then the launch will be that month. And then he thinks that at the June E3, they're going to have the PlayStation 5 announcement, and that they'll announce PlayStation 5 No Man's Sky being 2.0, and will include VR. So... he's got kind of got some interesting predictions here. I don't know that it will be exactly each month that we'll get another feature released, and I also don't think it will be June that we get the update. I'm still predicting it will be July or August. But yeah, a lot of cool ideas here that people have suggested. I think I'm going to leave this video here. I'm not going to ramble on too much more. Things are still all pretty much up in the air. So this is the last topic that I'm going to have in this series. And tomorrow I'll be doing a final wrap-up video for this series. But yeah, thank you all to everyone that has commented and contributed to the conversation in this series. And tomorrow I'll be making kind of an announcement, like a channel update, where I'll be talking about some changes that are going to be coming to my channel. But don't worry, everything's going to be okay.